Hey, can you hear me now? No more squeal? I don't know what it is. Well, we will say that it's something with the Wi-Fi or YouTube, or I didn't touch any wires, so I don't know. I don't know. Yay. All right, so there's no, so I don't know who said it now because we had all this trouble, but yeah, there's no white in here and there's no purple. So right away, this wouldn't be my favorite set because of that. And I would probably, if I'm going to use this at all, especially away from the studio, I would probably use the lid to mix on. And when I was at Hobby Lobby buying this, I would use these 4 wells to add more colors. So I would put white, a violet, and like a Payne's gray, and you know what, and cyan, and a different red. The alizarin crimson is going to be nice, but I would put something that's more like a blood red. So I would use these 4 wells to add more Daler-Rowney colors to this palette because I don't think it's got the right color selection in it. For me, it doesn't. It's a student grade. Yes, again, it's a nice set to play around with and like take on vacation, but if you're going to do a serious painting, it's probably not the one for you. Yay, the gang's all here, woohoo, no more squealing. Okay, so but and this brush works nice, but this is going to make me crazy, this little short brush. We're gonna that's nice. Again, this is nice if you're on vacation, but I'm not on vacation, so we're gonna switch back to the big brush. Okay, so nicely pigmented colors. But I would use these 4 wells here to add other colors to this because I think this is, doesn't, for me, it doesn't, yeah. Yeah, sepia maybe, Payne's gray, white, and I would add a violet. And I would do the sepia, or I would do a different red. That was way too much water. See, that's what happens when you put way too much water. Yay, gang's all here. Okay, and then green. The paints are nice though. It has a leaf green and it has a viridian, Mary. That's the leaf green. The ultramarine is nice. I barely touched my brush into it. And the thing about the rewetting agent in this, the Ox Gall liquid, it really does work. I just sprayed them right before we had the problem with the sound, and then I sprayed them again really quick, and they're already really juicy. These are Daler-Rowney Aquafine. Somebody looked it up, and they're student grade. The real Myrtle checked for me. Yay! I love you guys because I can say that you'll do it. No, the Holbein are really well pigmented. I love the Holbein paints. My beef with the Holbein paints is once they're dry in pans, they don't re-wet well. So I don't like that. This is the leaf green. Let me grab a scrap piece of paper. Okay, here's a scrap, Mary. We'll do this for Mary. So this is lemon. This is cadmium yellow. These are the colors that come in this set. This is the vermilion, sorry. I don't have my reading glasses on. I probably should. The printing is really little. This is alizarin crimson, and again, this is a good color, but I would probably put something that's a little bit like between these two in here. Prussian blue. My brush is too wet. That's not the paint, it's my brush. It has too much water on it. Ultramarine. Look at this ultramarine. I mean, I barely touched the brush to the paint. Oh, yeah. Okay, this is the leaf green, which is a very pretty green. This is Viridian. Oops. And then it has yellow ochre. So that's the thing. It has yellow ochre in here. You have these two yellows plus yellow ochre. I don't know if you need that many yellows. I know yellow ochre is more of a neutral, but I don't know. I would probably take it out and put in sepia. And this is burnt sienna. So these are the colors that come in this little De La Rowney palette. And granted, these are student grade paints, but they're fairly well pigmented. So they look really nice. So let's dry this so we can flip the page. Okay, yeah, for me, this has too many yellows in it, and that's fine for some people. You're welcome. And this has enough colors to mix. But what you want to do when you look at any of these little palettes, no matter if it's artist grade or not, is you want to look at it and decide to customize it for you. So what colors do you use a lot that you don't want to have to mix every single time you open this box? For me, that would be purple, Payne's gray. I would need a white in here. And this set was $16.99 at Hobby Lobby, and I used a coupon. So I got 40% off. So it wasn't, in my opinion, super spendy. And it's a nice small palette. This is a good size to take with you if you want to just take it on the go on vacation or on a road trip or just out for the afternoon. It's also, if you're going to just play around with the paints in your studio room and you don't want to invest in a huge set, this is a nice size and it's not a bad price. But yeah, I would definitely add white. I would definitely add Payne's gray. I do not want to have to mix a gray black color all the time. I would definitely add purple, and I would definitely add sepia. I might put the sepia where the yellow ochre is, and then add a red. I would put a red in here, but a different color of red other than the alizarin crimson. So I would say that when if you're going to pick this setup, that you want to think about what other colors you want and pick up 4 of the De La Rowney tubes while you're at Hobby Lobby, or Van Gogh tubes are right there, and Van Gogh tubes are not cheap, not expensive. They're like $5 a piece. They have a couple other brands. All right, so let's do a little painting with these and let's see what we can come up with. I do like this lemon yellow. And I do really like these Utrecht watercolor brushes, by the way. I picked some up just to try for you guys when I was in Las Vegas at the Dick Blick store, and I am really liking them. So if you guys are ordering from Dick Blick anyway, and you're trying to meet the minimum order, think about picking up a couple of these brushes. They're not expensive. And no, they didn't pay me to say that. Oh, if they can, they could send me a bunch of brushes. I'm good. But yes, I like this yellow. So these are the Utrecht 6150R. As for those of you who don't know, Utrecht and Dick Blick are owned by the same company. So you should be able to get Utrecht brushes on the Dick Blick website and the other way around. Oh, thanks. I'm just playing most of the time. I don't always know for sure what I'm doing. I'm just playing around. I very rarely plan anything. FYI. Not everybody knows that. Unless I teach with you, then you know. I don't plan. I don't usually do a lot of pre-planning. So holy cow, that orange is very bright. We got a lot of it on there. Oh, I wish somebody was out there when I was learning to answer questions. So I love, love answering the questions. And if I don't know, maybe it's something I should know. We'll find out together. Okay, so let's go with the red. And I don't know, I don't think you guys are going to be able to pick it up on camera how juicy these colors have become with just that little bit of squirting of water with that ox gall in it. I'm telling you guys, it makes a big difference. I am going to play with the Holbein paints with this, which I haven't done yet, and I'm going to do it on camera so that I catch it. You know what? Why don't we just do it now while we're painting with these? So these are the Holbein paints. And I love them straight out of the tube. They're fabulous. They have the same problem Mary had with the koi paints out of the tube. They cracked. The gouache especially cracked like crazy. And none of them re-wet really well. So while we're playing with the Daler Rowney, let's have these sitting with some of this on it, and let's try them. It does make the color spread much easier, the ox gall. And I knew last time, before I went on to Las Vegas, I knew there was something out there for aiding in the re-wetting of the water, and I couldn't remember what the name of it was, so I had to go to the store and look around. But it's the ox gall. Okay, so I gave those a pretty generous spray. Cracking isn't bad necessarily, but if they're cracked like that, they might fall out of the palette, and it might mean that there's not enough binders in the paint. So the Holbein palette, these 5 colors at the bottom are gouache, and these up here are watercolor. I have them all in the same palette. So we're going to just leave them sit and see what happens. Because it's the one thing I like their I like the way the paints are pigmented. They're not super cheap, but they don't re-wet well. Yeah, so that would be the other thing I could do. Okay, I lost track of what I was doing. Oh yeah, red. Missing paint is bad. You know, watercolor paints are expensive. We don't want to like lose them. They're pricey. And I was saying before we started that, you know, sometimes I don't know the answer to the questions, but that's okay. Maybe we'll find out together. I'm all right with that. I don't ever pretend I know everything, because I can tell you right now I don't. I know that. Okay. I am liking how these are flowing across the paper, and I like the way they're pigmented. So that I already enjoy. Let's go with the green. I know I've taken some of my dry pigments and turned them into watercolor, like my Pearl X powders, and with gum by mixing them with gum arabic, and that worked great. So if you have powder pigments around, you can mix them with like gum arabic. What kind of extra binder did you get, Mary? I forgot to write Daler Rowney on here. Ooh, that blue. That blue that's a lot of blue. Hold on. Oh, see, but it lifts pretty well. Oh, extra gum arabic. Yeah, I guess Daniel Smith used to do a pan paint, and I kind of wish they did still, and then we could just refill the pans from tubes when you run out of certain colors. That would be nice. one thing I like about some of my brands that I carry in the studio are that I can buy them in pan form, but then if I just run out of one color, I can just go buy that one tube. Sennelier does that. I don't like that their paints stay sticky, but you can buy a pan set of their watercolors, artist grade, and then when you run out of just say lemon yellow, you can just go buy the one tube of lemon yellow. And it's the same pigmented paint as the pan. They're the same. Okay, so I like that. I did forget to write De La Rowney on there, so where's my pen? Here it is. Now we don't have purple, so let's see if we can mix up some purple with the correct end of the paintbrush. Just look at that blue. Holy cow. I can't get over that blue. It's a great blue. Okay, get some purple. These blend much better. This is what I'm used to when I'm used to blending watercolor paint, not like the Peerless. If you're going to get the Peerless, just get enough colors that you won't have to blend because you're not going to like blending with them. Yeah, I don't have their sticks yet. They're on my wish list though. See, I like these paints. They're nice. All right, let's dry this. Okay, color wheel time. Let's see. Maybe I have a color wheel. I don't think I do. I think we're gonna have to draw one. Yeah, we have to draw one. I need my gizmo. So I have, those that don't know, I have a couple templates here. So we're gonna have to draw a color wheel. All right. Okay. I don't think I usually do this on camera. I usually try to do this before I turn the camera on. Yeah, it would be nice if we just had some kind of a color wheel stencil. I should cut one. Or see if I can come up with one that'll cut on the silhouette. Hey, Anne, you're great with the silhouette. Make us a color wheel template that we can stencil cut. It needs to be about 3 inches across, 3.5 inches across. One I can just lay down and draw all the little triangles. It'd be easier. Usually, like I said, I usually do this off camera. About somewhere between 3 and 3.25 inches across. Something that's more round than mine. Mine is not very round, as you can see. See, we could all use an Anne. If you have an Etsy store, you should put it in there because we could all use it. All right, so now we'll put De La Rowney. And then we'll do lemon. And then 1, 2, 3, and then we'll do the alizarin crimson. Yeah, because this blending tool, this is just a fun extra one, but if you're only going to do one, the round one works the best. It's the easiest. And then we'll do the ultramarine. LOL, Mary, we knew what you meant. Okay, so here's the yellow. Need some more water. My brush is a little bit on the dry side. There we go. Mary. Poor Mary's having trouble typing today. This is the alizarin. And then the blue. I'm fine with it, Mary. I think it's funny. Maybe you would wish I didn't think it was funny, but I think it's funny. Hey, Teresa. We were going to continue on with the first broadcast, but we had some technical issues. So that one I ended and started a new one. So here's about half and half yellow, the red and yellow. Now we're going to add more yellow to it, to part of it. These blend nicely. Of course, I am just coming off of using those Peerless. They didn't blend well. All right, and then we're going to add more red. You just keep us all entertained, Mary. It's all good. Too much water in that. So with watercolor, if you didn't know, the more water you add to your paint, the less pigmented it's going to be and the lighter the color that will be. Okay, so now we have this purple over here that I already mixed up, so let's use that as our half and half. I will. It's not round. You're going to want to make it actually round. It's, you know, hand cut and wonky. Wonky is a good word for it. Okay, and then we're going to add more red to it. Sorry, I was reading the chat. Well, I don't always measure at all, so this is more blue. These blend nicely with each other, and they don't do weird things on the palette, and it could be because of the binding. There may be no binder in the Peerless. Okay, so now we'll do yellow and blue. Yeah, I'm going to get some thumbs down for that squeal at the end, right? That's going to be fun. So here's the yellow and the blue. Look at this pretty color I got. Wait till you see it on paper. Holy cow. That is a pretty color. I don't know what that was. I have no idea. It's so weird. The joys of the live broadcast. There's always issues. So I put more yellow in it. That's a pretty green. And then we'll put a little bit more blue in it. Yeah, right? I love that. They are. See, look at the palette's not doing anything strange like the Peerless one did. Now, I probably could spend some time and put more blue in that because it's very like the first color, probably because I unconsciously really like that color. Let's put more blue in that. Let's see what we get. Yeah, that's better. So that's the Daler Rowney palette with just the colors that comes in here. How many did I say there was? 10. Goes, well, you know, you guys are going to think I'm more nutcase than normal, but my house is haunted, so anything is possible. Yeah, see, so the palette didn't do anything super strange like the Peerless one did, where the pigment all separated from the water. And it could be because these have a binder in them. I'm pretty sure it's gum arabic. And maybe the Peerless don't have any. Yeah. One of my cousins says it's because I'm empathic. They all like to come visit me. I don't know what to do with that. Those of you that are atheists are going to think I'm a nut job, but yeah, my house is haunted. Oh, mine is not that anything like that, and mine is souls follow me around. So mine's all, yeah, they follow me. Okay, so here's my other one, Anne, and I'm going to send you both. I don't know if you're going to be able to cut this one, but I'll send you both. Usually it's my grandmother's or my aunt. Yeah. Yeah, you've seen those in some of my videos? Yeah, I was busted on that last year. I didn't talk about this on camera like ever till it got caught on camera last year. They were just coming to say hi. Okay. Yeah, I have two. So's my daughter. Unfortunately, it's been passed on to the next generation because she's just like her mom. Of course, it's best not to tell your therapist you hear voices. Take my word for that. They tend to want to lock you up in a padded cell. See, if the viewers suddenly drop like flies, we know we're talking about stuff there. Nobody's wanting to hear me talk about. All right, so there we go. That's our other one. All right, so Daler Rowney. You know, when you're home alone and you don't have any audio devices on, the TV's not on, the phones are turned off, the answering machine is not picked up anything, your phone is not ringing, your computer's not playing, and you hear people call your name. You know, I just don't know what to do with that. So again, this is just a different way of blending. Oops, not vermilion. Let's see. Yeah, I agree with you, Anne. Yeah, I smell my grandmother's perfume sometimes. Makes me cough. Okay, so here we go again. And we put the pure pigment, and where they meet, pure pigment. And then we'll do the next one. I've seen too many unexplained things to not believe that some part of our energy lives on after death. And that has nothing to do with believing in God or not. And I actually have family members that we meet to work on different projects and things, and they always want to come to my house because my house is like a spiritual hotspot. Okay, so then we'll do the blue. Especially the kitchen. I think all the women in my family who have passed are all in the kitchen, trying to get me to do more cooking. No, I agree with you, Mary. I let them, you know, hang out. As long as they don't hurt anybody, I'm good. All right. So now we've got our basic colors, and where these two lines meet, right, we've got our pure color. So now let's do some mixing. So again, we're going to take, we're going to try to use up what's on the plate. So we're going to mix red and yellow here, more red, and red and yellow here, more yellow. So let's use what's on the plate. And there's no real formula to this. Just do what feels right. So that was what was already on the plate. And then let's add some more yellow to it. My relatives hang out here because I have projects I promised them I would get done for them and that aren't done yet. So I know that's why they're here. So we're working on it. That's a really pretty color. So now we'll do the same thing with the blues. So we have a blue here with some yellow in it. Let's put a little bit more yellow in it. And put it here. That's pretty color. And then let's put even more yellow in it. They just like hanging out at my house. Even my father-in-law, he's here too. I didn't think he really liked me in life, but I don't know if he's here for me or here for his granddaughter, I should say. All right. So now we'll do the purples. Yeah, I guess the light orb thing has happened a couple times on my YouTube videos. So that just goes to show you that they're around. I didn't even notice it when I was editing. You guys all noticed it, so probably because I'm just used to it, so I don't pay any attention. So those are nice paints. So that is the De La Rowney. It is. Definitely it is. I think in some cases they weren't ready to go yet. So, all right. So before we go, we should see what's going on with this. So these are nice. This is a nice set, but like I said, I would think that if it was me and you're taking my recommendation for this, so this is a great kit. I love the size of the box. I'm not super thrilled that the insert's made out of plastic, but for a travel kit, I think it works just fine. At some point, you could pull this out completely, and you could get some plastic half pans like I have in here, and glue them in or put them in with magnets. But you wouldn't need to do that right away. But if you did do that, you could get a lot more colors in here. But it's perfectly usable the way it is, and the brush is not bad. I would recommend that you buy 4 more colors at least, and use these wells to pour those tubes in. Use what colors you can find at Hobby Lobby if that's where you buy this. You don't have to keep the whole thing De La Rowney, so get that out of your brain completely. My favorite palettes are mixed ones. But get what you can afford. I know a lot of the Hobby Lobbies have Van Goghs on clearance. So if you pick up one of these and they still have Van Goghs on clearance, then go over to the clearance aisle and pick out like a white, a Payne's gray, or a black, a purple, and maybe a sepia, or a different red, something that's more like pie roll red, more like this red. That's more of a tomato red or a blood red, strawberry. Okay, now we have our piece of paper here. This is where we did our, so let's turn it over. So we're gonna see what happened with these paints here. So the empty pans can be tricky. I've been to a number of fine art stores that don't sell empty pans, which is interesting. I usually order my empty pans from Dick Blick, Cheap Joe's, or Amazon. And if you type in any one of those websites, type in empty half pan or empty watercolor pan, the listing will come up for these little plastic, and you get them. Where's my box? This is the box I keep my pans in. So they come like this. So when I take palettes apart too, like when I took my koi palette apart, I use up all the paints, I save the little pans, but you can get these clear ones or these white ones. And when I have to place an order, like I need a few dollars more to get free shipping, I usually order pans or watercolor brushes, something I know I'm going to need, even if I don't need it right away. All right, so let's see if I like these better now. We'll see. Okay, so I can tell you right now that Oxgall liquid worked on the watercolor paints for sure. Yet this is not much better than the last time I used these. Re-wets very nicely. It's creamy in the palette. These are the Holbein watercolors. They're not super cheap, and I've never seen them in the store. I think you're going to have to order them if you want to try them. They're from, I think, Japan. This is the green one of you all was talking about earlier. Now, I do think, as I'm noticing with a lot of, I got a stray hair, a lot of Asian watercolors are sometimes more opaque than other brands. Okay, so that made a big difference with the watercolors. Let's see what happened with the gouache. You know, it actually helped with the gouache too a bit, but not a lot. Let's see. The white's not doing anything. And you know, gouache should re-wet like watercolor paint. At least other brands of gouache I've ever had do. but these just don't seem to want to. So I may end up pulling these out. See, that's the red. I may end up pulling these out and mixing them with gum arabic. Gouache should be it's supposed to be an opaque water-soluble paint. And see, these are just not, these just don't re-wet. I might as well have poured acrylic paint in here. See? So it worked great on the watercolor, not so much on the gouache. So I can see me pulling these gouache paints out of here. These are all Holbein. So I've had gouache before, Royal Talons being one of them, and they always reacted the same as the watercolor. They were way more opaque, of course, because they're a gouache, but they're water soluble. Even when they were dried in the pans, they re-wet nicely to continue to use them. These are Holbein gouache, and they should be this color. These colors, they're not working. So I would, that's disappointing. So I would stay, I have them because they sent them to me for free. And I would use them, but I would use them straight out of the tube like an acrylic. I don't think that I would even bother to put these pans back in here with the gouache in them. I think I would just pull the paint that's in here out, dump them, and wash it out. But the Oxgall liquid worked great with the watercolor because I had trouble getting the watercolor to re-wet also. But the Oxgall liquid did a fabulous job because before I look more like this. Even with the Oxgall, yeah, Mary, the Oxgall didn't seem to help. It just sits in there. It's not doing anything. It's very interesting because it's just, yeah, it's not doing anything. No. So yeah, so I wouldn't just, I very rarely tell you guys not to do something because I try not to do that. I don't want to tell you what to do, but I would stay away from these particular gouache paints. Gouache should be, if you look it up, it should be a water-soluble opaque paint. And these are not water-soluble, not once they're out of the tube. I have had gouache before, and I'm pretty sure they were Royal Talons. I still have them somewhere. And they were nice. Yeah, they might work if you want a permanent layer. Use them straight out of the tube. Don't expect to use them in a palette like this. And I have used them in a couple of illustrations I've done recently for a book project for somebody. And they worked great for that. It didn't say it was. But maybe it was. I don't know where the box is right now. It's Holbein. I don't know where I put the box. Oh, here. Yeah, I don't know. It's in Japanese. It might be an acrylic gouache, and if it's an acrylic gouache, that would explain why it's reacting this way. Very much. So if you have an acrylic gouache and you want to be able to add it to your watercolor palette, you need to let it dry out like this. Then you need to pop it out of there, and you need to mix it with some a binder, gum arabic, and turn it into a watercolor paint. So let the pigment dry, then smash it up and get it powdery, and then mix it with a gum arabic. And I may have to try this with one of these because so that I can tell you guys if that works or not. And I need to do it with the brushos anyway. So I may try that for you guys, and we may have to just see if that works. All right, I'm going to go too because I need to eat some lunch and go take a shower. I'm still in my gym clothes. And I'm kind of stinky. Well, except I smell like breathe. So anyway. All right. That's it for today. I think that's more than I was going to do. But there you go. So, you know, both of those I like. But if you're going to just buy one of them, For traveling or working in your studio, the Daler Roundy is a nice choice. Hobby Lobby also carries the Koi palette, which is a nice choice too. They're both kind of student grade paints. They're both probably have about the same light fastness. Peerless are nice. They're a little more difficult to get. And we'll see if Anne can make us some templates. All right, I will see you all later. Don't forget the most important thing today, besides not telling your therapist you're hearing voices, because, you know, they don't like that too much. Go out and have a great day and do something nice for yourself, because you deserve it. Yep, I'll be back next week, hopefully with no squealing on the sound. That would be good. I will, Anne. I'll scan it after I'm done with this. All right, I will talk to you all later. Bye.